Dr. Damon Sight. I'm a Microsoft Certified System Engineer, a Certified Scrum Master, and a Billboard Certified Doctor. Here today to talk to you about cybersecurity. In particular, we'll start with passwords. Someone is hacked every 10 seconds, probably at least 50 people by just various hackers, their different accounts, Target, your bank. Main reason for that is weak passwords. So what is a weak password? Well, your name is a very weak password. ABC123, horrible password. Your kid's name, no good. Your friend's name, your pet's name, any name is a bad password. So a company like Microsoft, password protocols are probably anywhere from 8 to 14 characters, probably along the lines of 14. Random numbers, letters, and characters, uppercase, lowercase. They would probably require that you change your password every 3 months. Up to 6 months, but a company like Microsoft is probably more likely 3 months. It would probably be no recognizable words of any form, even with the characters or things like that. I change my password every day. Cybersecurity is very important to me. I don't want anybody getting into my accounts. So I change my password every day. It's very difficult sometimes. I try to use Post-it notes, and I know I shouldn't, so I've basically gotten rid of all Post-it notes in the house, so I don't do that. If you can barely remember your password, hackers are never going to figure that out. They'll try to use brute force attacks, but what they're mainly doing is they're typing in names of people that you know. And half the time it works because people use names for passwords. So one of the types of password attacks is a brute force. That's where the hacker himself or a group of Asian children in an air-conditioned room would be just typing words over and over to try to figure out your password. That's a brute force attack. That's why having a long, complex password is the better route to go. It's harder to figure out, there's more characters. But what they don't tell you is that uppercase letters, or characters with lots of swirlies in them, like the @ symbol or the ampersand, are harder because there's more character there than a lowercase letter or a smaller symbol. Like the minus symbol, there's not a lot to that, so it's a little bit easier for the hackers because it's not there's not as much real estate in the actual character. So that's why I like using the capital letters, the swirly characters, things like that. There's more to try to figure out physically, so it's a little bit harder to figure that out for a hacker. So an example of a strong password would be 2 capital F, lowercase d, hashtag, close parenthesis, lowercase l, lowercase m, lowercase n, lowercase o, the @ symbol, tilde, 98, lowercase h, uppercase B, open parenthesis, backslash, %, 3, capital N, lowercase n, 8, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, close parenthesis. It's very important to end your passwords with a closed parenthesis so the computer knows that you're pretty much done. You could also use a period. I prefer a closed parenthesis. Now, if you're doing that as a standard, it's a good idea to increase your password length by 1, so that way the hackers don't know. So for your average home user, there's not a lot of hardware solutions that are economical. A lot of hardware security solutions can get more expensive. At a larger company, they'll have firewall devices and servers that will help harden the network to prevent hackers from getting in. Some servers will have a hardware key fob that you have to plug in to sort of authenticate to the server, sort of a dual layer of authentication. So you'll have a password, you'll have a key fob. So two-way authentication is just that. It's two ways to authenticate to get in. So a physical example of that would be if I walk into a building that has dual authentication, I would have to do like a key fob or a key card to scan, and then also my fingerprint. That's two-way authentication to get into a building. On a computer, it could be typing in 2 different passwords, having a key fob that has a number that changes every 60 seconds and it syncs up with the server. So when you go to log in, you have to type in the number and you have to type in your password. You can, on some newer laptops, you can do a thumbprint or fingerprint as well as a password. Me personally, for my house, to get in my house, to get on my phone, to get on my computer, I use 3-way authentication. So usually that's a retinal scan, a fingerprint, and then a 24-character password that changes every day. So there are different cables that you can get to make yourself more secure. The best cables you can get on the market are going to be a gold platinum plated cable. Those are the high, dense metals. Make it a little bit tougher for hackers. Hackers are usually more used to like a copper or silver cables. If you get the cables that are braided with the mesh around the outside, the shield, those are even better and more secure. They look great. They look nice in the home, but they're also more secure. It's more difficult for the hackers to get to your stuff if you have these shielded cables. That's a key word to look for, shielded, when you go to buy them. You can find them online. Best Buy, I would really stay away from anything Best Buy has to offer. That company was actually founded by hackers. So if you have purchased electronics from Best Buy, chances are they have a built-in back door and they're stealing all your stuff. So backdoors, in many senses, when it comes to cybersecurity, can mean multiple things. It can mean literally a backdoor that they come in and steal your stuff out of your house, like they'll steal your computer and your iPhone. I would keep my back door locked at all times. In fact, when we built our house, I had mine built without a back door for that purpose. Security is a big deal for me. So in the sense of computers, back in the 80s, when IBM was first building computers, they actually started out building backdoors into the computer. They had something on the microchip that would allow their servers at IBM to call out to those computers. Now originally it was for purposes for the government, Big Brother, things like that, and then IBM decided they didn't want to do that, so they shut down that feature on the chips. So they told us. Best Buy revived that later on when they founded their company. So all the stuff they have has the back door. So as far as the type of computer that you have to be secure, the most secure and the best computer you can get is going to be a Mac. Not because they're ridiculously expensive or because they look really cool, which both are true. Because only 1% of the population owns a MacBook, and that's not worth hackers' time. They go after the 99% of people that own Windows computers. So if you get a Mac, you're very safe, and you're gonna look cool. So lately, Internet Explorer was the primary browser that was hacked, and that they would find bugs in, that they would try to hack you. But now it's Chrome. Chrome is the new hackable browser. Internet Explorer has been hacked so much that Microsoft really doesn't even patch Internet Explorer anymore, so they kind of forget it. And for hackers now, it's not really worth the effort. You know, it's kind of cool to let people go back to using Internet Explorer, and you know, some lame people will still get hacked because they don't know what they're doing and they click links everywhere. But Chrome is what's getting hacked right now. So if you use Internet Explorer, you should be good to go. So when you're clicking links on the internet, click the purple ones. There's a specific reason for this. You know someone's already clicked it, so it's safe. You're using the computer, so if it's a purple link, you're good to go. If it's blue, you're taking a pretty big risk by clicking it. So another area to talk about is mobile device security. As many of you recall, there was an incident that happened a few years back that was dubbed the fappening, where celebrities were hacked, the iCloud was hacked, and all of their nudie photos and videos were put out there for the enjoyment of pretty much everyone. So how do you prevent that from happening to you? Well, one, if you're gross, you don't have to worry about it at all. Nobody wants to see what you have on your phone. If you're amazing looking, you should probably record yourself a lot. You're being recorded all the time anyways. All these devices, they're always on. So to protect myself, I have kind of a double speak. I'll talk to people normally, but for those within my inner circle, I've developed a hand signal sort of sign language mix that we can communicate with each other and really say what we want to say. We meet Sundays, usually at 2:20 after church, and we figure out what the new hand signs are going to be for that week. It kind of limits what we talk about, because you can't really learn a whole new vocabulary in an hour's meeting, but it works for us. We get said what we need to have said, and nobody's listening to us. So be careful with what you say. Another method, if you don't want to do that, you can write things down to those around you, those in your inner circle that you want to talk to, while you boringly talk about something else. But make sure you burn those pieces of paper after you've written down. Never keep anything written down. That's how they get you. So back when the conventions were being hacked by the Russians, a lot of people got a lot of misinterpretations. The Russians are not our enemies. They were just hacking for the fun of hacking, and because they knew there were a lot of people there with crappy passwords. But there are buds. The country that is probably our biggest enemy and threat is going to be Liechtenstein. They're small, so easily overlooked, but they hack with a fierce nature.